board. Okay, so we're recording this class for October 26th Avid Stampers. So if you're watching the replay, you can follow along with us. So you'll notice that I didn't give you an extra piece for your stars. You're going to use your gold piece, which is just going underneath anyway. Now, if you take your punch, and I would suggest sliding it in, not from necessarily from the bottom, but from the side. You'll be in enough when you punch it. You can probably even get 2 sets of stars out of it if you really want to. And then you'll still have a border. So slide it as far in as it'll go. And you end up like that. I am not using the teeny tiny one, and one has flown onto the floor, as punches do. So there's no stamping on this card. Pretty simple. There's the card base, and then this is shaded spruce. And there's a piece of white to stick on the inside. Because this is a pretty dark color. There we go. And these recordings, they go up on my YouTube channel just for ease of sharing, but they never go public. They're just unlisted. And with our gold piece that we've punched out, and you know, something you can do if you want to stick it on a paper trimmer and cut more out, go right ahead. This is the really, really pretty artistically inked. No, that's not what it's called. Artistically inked is the stamp set. So the paper, if you have your PDF open, you probably see it there, but I do not. Expressions in Ink, designer series paper.
I love that paper.
Isn't
I love it too.
gorgeous? So much.
I bought several.
Yeah, me too.
And the thing is, you like both sides of many. This one in particular, I like both sides of. So just that fleck of gold around there. So you're going to put the adhesive on the back side. Just, you might want to avoid where the stars are. So I'm just going to go around the edges.
I heard there was a big accident on Maple Grove Road today.
Is that towards Cambridge?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. It's a little scary. So then this goes on top. Like this. Yeah. And then there's a little bit of, this is just jade, which the color, I don't even know honestly if the color's in there, but just the lighter color on this shaded spruce reminded me of it. I thought it'd be a nice lighter ribbon to go with. So let's see, is Just Jade in here a couple? It is, yes, it is. So there is some of that in this paper. There. So I took one of the dies. This is the Tasteful Texture, Tasteful Label dies. Let's just see here. Yeah. Tasteful Labels dies. This one here. It's got some stitching around it, and it was a perfect size for this gold heat embossing. So I'm going to place this first so that I can then scatter my stars around. And I'm just going to put a little bit of my tape runner adhesive. You can use glue dots as well on the back just to add my ribbon to. And I just tend to fold it over like the cancer ribbon, I guess is the best way I could call it. And just press it down on there and then use my dimensionals to pop it up. Then you can play with the back if it's needs some adjusting here, there, or anywhere. There. So Jane, will you be in the office more often now?
I'm muted, sorry. No, right now I've been going in 2 days a week for the past couple of months. So
Okay.
the problem is we really can't accommodate more than that because of the capacity limits.
Right.
But I'm actually okay with that. You know,
Yeah.
2 to 3 days a week, if that's how I stay indefinitely, I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But it'll be nice to have more people go in. Like management has been the only group going in for the last while. So now that staff are going to start to come back. It'll be nice to have some familiar faces besides.
Next week, eh?
Yeah.
If you've got them, you can use your mini dimensionals. I thought I had some here. I have some in black. We have a package of black dimensionals that are half mini and half regular size. They're kind of nice when you're using black paper and you don't want to see the colors underneath showing through of the white. And just put a little bit, even that one's a little big on that little dot, that little star. And then figure out how you want to arrange them. I never bought our stars dies, which are quite big. So I was glad that we had a punch with stars on them because I use them, but not sure that the big ones are something I would use too much, but this size is nice.
Well, what I think is neat is I noticed I was looking online at like pictures of cards people have made with this set.
Yeah.
And this little cluster of fancy stars in the corner, I guess fits right. I don't know if we're doing that tonight. It fits right into the punch. And
Yes.
someone had made a pretty cool card with these punched out. It was kind of neat.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cluster one, we're going to use that, but we're going to use it just to get this, to get the star, some of the
Yeah,
stars
right on.
out. Yeah, for sure. And so that's a lot of sparkle going on and doesn't need much else, I didn't think, with the ribbon having some sparkle in it and
Pretty.
the stars. Yeah, I think the paper makes it. It really does. Makes that one for sure. Let's maybe do this one next. We're working our way up to the ornaments. Is everybody good to move along?
Yep.
So I used Misty Moonlight on this one for my ink. I haven't opened it yet, just because. Okay. And so when you're getting ready to put this card together, you'll notice that one of your whites is smaller. That's the one we're doing the stamping on. So put that on top of this mint macaron and just put it to the side so that you've got that layer ready to go. And then otherwise you may have to do some trimming, which is fine. And then this larger of the two whites in your package, that's the one that's going on the inside of the card, like that. I can't believe we're the last week of October already. Yikes.
Easy.
I know. Has anyone started Christmas shopping?
No.
I have.
No. So who said they have?
I have.
Oh,
I'm an early Christmas shopper.
oh, good for you.
Yeah. Not too much yet, just a few things.
Like, let's not get out of control, right?
Yeah.
I have bought, I think, actually it's true. I have bought 3 things, but it's just because I happened upon them before leaving Homewood, so they were perfect. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is take this piece of blue, and I had overcut a whole bunch of stitched rectangles, so that's why you're getting one that looks like it's a finalized piece for something. It's not, it's just in my scrap bin. And we're going to grab that stamp with the cluster here in the bottom left on your stamp set. It should fit on a D block, that standard size block. Now, the one thing I found when you're doing this kind of thing is it does make it a whole lot easier if you see where the stamps are going to punch out from, rather than trying to figure that out later. So that's the biggest one. So you get the kind of general direction. Oh, it's going to be backwards, right? Duh. Like that. So this one up here, that's the top. So by putting it face down over that, I'm going to put a little black dot with my magic marker or Sharpie. I'm showing my age. It's a magic marker. It just makes it easier, less cutting out. And we'll ink it up in the same color. So Misty Moonlight on Misty Moonlight, or you could use Night of Navy too. That would work just as well. There's the dot in the top. And I kept 4 of them out of that. Move my ink pad over for a sec. And then I should be able to slide this in and line them up. Fairly well. And if you didn't know, with your punches, you can press them but not go through it, just so you hold it in place and you can have a better look, and then wiggle it around before you press and get them out. So I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, these 4. And to do the stamping, because I want them to kind of land in this cluster up here, I'm going to get my stamp in that top left corner to start. That's going to be my first stamping down because that's where I want the cluster to end up. Ink pad back in here. Just want this lovely big one to actually be straight up and down on the longest tier of it. And then the rest is just a matter of tilting it or turning it just a little bit with each stamping so they don't look uniform cookie cutter like. But I know that I can still get, so the smaller one is this one. It's this one, I could still get it sort of where I want it here. It's nice to twirl them around a little bit and get those images so they don't look too uniform. Do a bit better job by getting more near the edges. Yes, Riley, that's true. Riley had a little bit of an accident yesterday. He wouldn't go out in the morning to go to the bathroom. And I was working from home, so I had a little time with him. And then he got all excited when there was a delivery and ran up the stairs and promptly had a little flop down, as he does with these little seizures he gets when he gets overexcited. Thankfully, he was on his mat when that happened. He'd landed on his mat, but he ended up, when he got up, I saw that he kind of had an accident because he had a full bladder to start with. So out we went to take care of things and give him a bath and wash up his bedding. So had quite the treatment mid-morning yesterday. It's tough getting old. All right, so then this is going to go on here. We're gonna, oh, I did do the ribbon. What did I do? I did the ribbon around the white. So if you want the ribbon only around the right, then you want to do that before you put it down. But this time I think I'm going to put it on the two together. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't do that. Hi. Yeah, go ahead. No problem. Here we go.
How's your renovation going?
Oh, it's coming along. Did you see my pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got no more pictures for a couple of days because the contractor's not really coming back till Thursday night to do something. He got he didn't realize that the toilet, I guess the pipe doesn't come out of the wall, it comes out of the floor, which I guess is just different with an older house. So he had to go and get a special Dremel tool to cut this properly. So, yep, he'll be back Thursday. And then the tub arrived, though. That was exciting news because I didn't expect it to come for a few more, well, maybe even a week. I was worried it wouldn't be here by the weekend. So, yeah, it's coming along.
It's a big
Greg
job.
was just popping down to ask me if it was okay to shower because we had a do not shower order because you couldn't step on the tile situation.
Oh.
And yep, you're good, you're good. Okay, so I've tied my ribbon around with my knot at the right. This ties in a bow, but I don't find it quite as easy to tie in a bow. And I love the fanning out that you get with the knot here on the end of this. It gives such nice color. Maybe that one needs to be a little shorter. Go. There we are. And then I'm going to add some dimensionals to my little stars. And then, oh yes, in one of the cards, I think I put it in the gray card, is if you haven't found it yet, is a little bag with all the jewels for the cards, the 3 cards. That's where it'll be hidden in there. So dimensionals first. Yes, and I'm having my roof done, I hope this fall as well. They're supposed to let me know if they can start before the end of November, which would be lovely.
Yeah.
So we'll be dry too this winter.
Nice.
I know, so much happening at once, but I am so excited about this bathroom, I gotta tell you. It's a long time in coming. And there was nothing that was going to derail it this year. I said, nope, nope, no, I'm not going to let anything derail it. It's going to happen. Sometimes you have to push projects out. All right, so even on this one, I've already got my ribbon there, but it's still okay because I'm going to go right over top of it with my star. And there's nothing to say you have to put that star on that stamped image. You can put them wherever. I don't know. I just felt it balanced it nicely for me to put them on the right and then the greeting down here. So again, you can use any color. I chose the mint macaron because I never use it. So and if it doesn't go well for you, the stamping, and you need to redo it, just grab a scrap of whatever you've got and
How
I
did
just-
you make, how did you make the blue that the sentiment goes on?
oh,
It's cut in half. Isn't it?
oh no, it's sponged.
Oh,
I used to
okay.
sponge dauber.
Oh, okay.
Where is Merry and Bright? There. Be merry and bright. And I just used my sponge dauber, which may or may not have taken out. I had a piece of white. There it is. Love these photopolymer for seeing exactly where you need to place it. Easy, easy, easy. Check it out. So let me grab it. Just a light. And just very lightly dust the edges. It takes away all that whiteness. Too much whiteness. We went to an escape room last Thursday. My daughter and my two coworkers from Homewood that we all go together always, and maybe 4 or 5 times a year. And we are now the reigning champions of the Saw Room at Exodus for our time and good work. So we felt really good about that. We're just a little bit competitive. Not much, but a little bit. We work very, very well together. Because we know one person can just go do something, or another person will be like, I need someone to look at this. I've been looking at it too long. And yeah, we work well. Okay, so there are 5 jewels on this.
My daughter went to an escape room. I think it was at Exodus once.
Yep.
Birthday party, but one of the girls who went had done it before.
Oh,
And I guess so basically she was like telling them all the solutions before they got to them.
oh,
So she was super annoyed.
that is annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that takes away the fun.
Yeah.
Well, we even get to the point where we're like, 2 of us will be, we need a hint. No, we don't need a hint. And so that's the competitive. Are you sure we need a hint? I don't know that we need a hint. And I put my 5th a rhinestone on the eye for bright. And then this is ready to go on here. You could bang out a lot of these, I think, this particular design really easily.
Pretty.
Oh, and the best part of that escape room, it was free because I won a free escape room. They did this, they used to do this thing. I don't know if they still do in the new place. I didn't even think, but you can put your business card in. And then they draw one a month, and I won it back just before COVID hit. And they said it never expires. So I was like, okay, well, when it's safe to come out, we'll come out. And that's what we decided to do. So that was a really nice evening out. They're up on, you know, well, you may not know, but where 3 Star Cinema used to be in Guelph, up at the Auto Mall, or right by what's called Goodwill. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought they were downtown.
They were.
Oh, okay, they moved.
Yes, they moved from Farquhar Street out there.
Okay.
And there we go. That's our second card.
This ribbon is very pretty.
Isn't it? Yeah, I like it. I'm having lunch with my former boss from Homewood for the second time next, probably in a week's time or 2 weeks' time, early November. And I want to give her these cards for her personal use. I gave her a whack when I left because she would buy, boxes of candy and stuff for the different departments. And then I always donated cards because heaven knows I have enough of them. And so I gave her a bunch before I left. So she had enough for this year to get her by. She was always so generous in getting treats for like IT and housekeeping, environmental services, and all that. So it's good. All right. Are we good to move along? Don't want to rush anybody. You doing okay, Vicki?
Yeah, I'll finish after. I'm
Oh.
slow at it.
Okay, well, I don't want you to feel rushed at all.
I'm going
No.
to put that tiny star on.
Oh, good. That's a good idea. I think
It's
I did-
so pretty.
It is, and I tossed mine out already, so
Oh, I love it.
it would be
People are going to
nice.
say, how did you cut that?
That teeny tiny one.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's so well shaped. I
Mm.
got it.
Yep. So for this card, you're going to, if you want, emboss after we do the stamping. It's not necessarily necessary, but if you want to, it's something you can do to add to it. And so I'm gonna do that. This one I'm using, this embossing folder, is Time Worn Type. And there are actually words, so don't be like me and put it sideways on a whole bunch of swap cards I did back in July. I put it out this way, but it was a small enough piece that you didn't really notice too badly. But there are words in there, and yeah, it's kind of nice, like old paper. Only a few pieces for this one, but a fair bit of stamping to do. So once again, you've got 2 pieces of white. One is bigger than the other. The smaller one goes on top of the green. The smaller one's the one we're going to do the stamping on. So we'll take the bigger one and put it on the inside of this cherry cobbler first. Well, I think I may start planning a kickoff first class party in January with the first time out, you know, and I mean, there's probably no reason why I couldn't record portions of it if if there's somebody who didn't want to come, at least a monthly.
I was thinking this class is probably the best one to start because it's smaller than the monthly meeting.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so there's our cherry cobbler card base with the white on the inside. And I'm going to get ready to do the stamping. So let's get this little greeting out of the way. Celebrate the wonder.
I didn't get a little thing for the sentiment. How big is that?
Oh, sorry, Ellen.
That's okay. I have lots.
I have my centimeter side out here. Hold on one sec. It is 3 1/4 by 1/2 inch.
Okay.
I used shaded spruce. And we wouldn't have used lots of different, too many different ink pads if it wasn't for having this beautiful array of ornaments here. I was able to otherwise keep to just a few. Let's try that again. There we go. That's a little bit better. Nice. Set that aside to dry. All right, so I'm going to need shaded spruce, cherry cobbler. On my sample, I did actually use a 5th color, but I thought, well, I didn't really want everyone to feel like they need to come up with yet another color. So I've got Night of Navy. I'm going to use cherry cobbler on the 2 end ones on this. These remind me of when I was a kid, and these were the color of lights that we had on our tree. You know, that
Yes,
the gold
that's
and the
right.
green. Yeah, exactly.
What's the yellow? Crushed? Is that crushed curry?
It's crushed curry. You could use Daffodil Delight too. Anything sort of goldy. Bumblebee even would work. I find crushed curry and bumblebee somewhat close together in color. Out of the way. All righty. So we need the. Now I started by doing the ornaments so that I was sure I had enough space in between everything. Because if I put the strings down, I might not leave enough space for everything. So I kind of have the bigger one in the middle. So I'm using my grid paper and kind of positioning my paper in the middle. Give me an idea of where I want this to go. Move this guy off. Start with the middle one. And that is crushed curry. Make sure you've got the right end up. So the little pointy end that goes down. And it's an eyeballing thing, but I'd say it's probably, this is 3 3/4. The top of it's just below halfway down. I'm going to grab a different piece of paper because I'm using the, I've got the metric side up and I can't quite find the center as easily. So let's use a piece of imperial measurement. And I know this is 3 3/4. No, sorry, it's 5, so 2 1/2. Yeah, 5 inches wide. Pick this guy up again. Just to below halfway down and get it around the 5-inch mark. Here's the first one. I'm going to clean this because I'm going to need it again for a different color. And then I'll put the blue one to the right. The blue one is kind of the squishier one. Or whichever one you want. Oh, the one I didn't use was the small one, the small round one. I'm not quite sure why. You know what? The small round one would probably look nice here between the 2 big ones. Let's give that a try. sure that hasn't shifted. Seems way more stressful than it needs to be. And then my cherry cobbler to the right, but I'm going to have it dangle a little further down. Still going to need these. And then the green one, which is the long, skinnier one, the teardrop type one. That one's going to go over here in green, shaded spruce. Your ink pads are super juicy. The pattern might run a little bit. Just be gentle. Ooh. Oh, why did you land there? I have a splotch. Anybody else get a splotch? Oh no. I have to cover the splotch up. Nope, double-sided paper. Over we go. Flipping it around. Definitely not a card for the newbies. This could be a little tense. And then the teardrop. Let's try that one again.
These ornaments remind me of old ornaments along with the colors.
Yes, they're very vintage.
Yeah, the old glass ones.
Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, we always went over to my uncle's house for Christmas Eve. My mother's only sibling, and he had one daughter. And we would go over Christmas Eve, and he always had his tree so beautifully decorated. And we had our favorite ornaments from his tree. Because my aunt had Parkinson's disease, so she was bedridden from the time I can really remember her. I don't ever remember her walking or anything. And anyhow, that's why he would always have us Christmas Eve. And it was, oh, look at that. I did 3 without doing the other blue one. Oh, well, that's okay. And when he passed away, my cousin gave my sister and I a little package with our favorite ornaments.
Aww.
Oh, isn't that
Yeah.
cute?
It was so nice. So I have them on my tree still today. I bring them out and then, it reminds me, and it's kind of a nice thing. So now you need to do the strings.
Diane, this is a stressful card.
I know.
This is good practice.
And the strings, though, it really does help to have them be photopolymer. I mean, you could never do this otherwise. Key to the string is get it straight on your block to start with. And you're going to go off the page a little bit as you go up. Green. And blue. Oh, that didn't turn out so badly at all. I'm quite happy. although I miss the sort of, I guess I call it the Aladdin version. You know how it's just short and fat?
What color did you use for the string?
I use the same color for each
Oh, the
ornament.
same one. Okay.
Yeah. Gray or whatever. One, you know, one neutral color would work too. Okay, clean that up. I mean, let's face it, this class was all about the stars, not so much the ornaments. So I'm sure there's lots of great designs out there with the ornaments. Now I'm going to run it through the embossing folder. To give it that time-worn look. And I love how the embossing folders have a line on them now. Helps you line it up straight. So maybe you can't see it with the white there, but take that off for a second. They have a line right through, and that helps you line up the bottom of your paper. Go through.
Of choice.
Oh, and then these jewels are called rhinestone, holiday rhinestones, and they're perfect for this set. That's why I picked these specific colors. And I put like the yellow maybe on the blue and then the blue on the red. So I kind of mixed and matched the colors of the jewels a little bit.
You put them where the bow is? Is that?
I put them just below the bow. Actually, in this one, I kind of placed it a little bit lower even. They're all the same size. So on this little teeny one, that's going to look pretty big in comparison. I never bought these, and then somebody showed them for something. I forget what it was. And I really kind of like them for holidays. So there's a blue, more of a, it's not completely clear. It's really like pool party color. And then shaded spruce, cherry cobbler, and a goldy crushed curry kind of color.
What embossing folder did you use, Diane?
I used the time-worn type. That's the one of the new ones in the mini.
Okay.
Anything that's got a pretty not too big a pattern would work.
Sure.
You know what I think would look nice too is that hammered 3D one.
Yeah, I have that, but I don't think I'm going to use it tonight. I haven't tried it yet.
No. Yeah, so then this goes on to the green. Or the shaded spruce. And then on to the cobbler. With some dimensionals, I think. There we go. And then so that it doesn't, your greeting doesn't cave in the middle, put an extra dimensional under your greeting. So like 3 at least, or maybe even 4 or a strip. Mine caved a little bit in the middle, and probably that's what would happen if it went in the mail. I'll cut. I have an edge here. Oh, I think I do on this one to use up. So I have a call, you ladies who've been on my team, you know Dale, or you know of Dale. I have a call with Dale, not about Team Canada, just about how I'm doing with Stampin' Up. It's such a nice thing. He's going to call me tomorrow during the day. Checking in. You know what, while I'm here, maybe I'll just slide a dimensional underneath that caving in one. That underneath there. There we go. That's better. Well, this one I did tonight's quite an arc. I think I like the first one better. Probably because I have too many of the same one here. That's okay. My favorite shape is the teardrop though. It's the one I like the most. And there we go. Let me bring these up just in case you're still working away.
I just embossed, did the embossing. So.
Yeah.
You know Patty Bennett?
Yeah.
She was embossing about a month ago, and she used the same machine that I have, right? You know, the electric one?
Oh, really?
Yes, because she has a neck problem. She can't crank.
Oh.
Anyway, it froze for about 3 minutes. We didn't hear a word from her. And then she came and she said it froze and her embossing folder is inside. She didn't know what to do. Well, mine froze that night. And I didn't know what to do. And so I Googled it and I got the answer.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm sure that saves many a wrist and a shoulder for people.
Yes, it does.
Arthritic or
I can't crank anymore. I have rotator cuff problem.
oh, yes.
For me, it's sometimes just figuring out, like, the big folders seem to need less layers than the little ones. Like, some of them are thicker than others.
Yes. Yes.
So it's trying to figure out like what plates I need to put. So sometimes I put too much in it and then I'm like, oh, I can't even get it through.
No.
So yeah, that's for me the challenge.
And with the ones that are, say, retired, but the machine, like they still work with the machine, you just have to figure that silly sandwich out. I should look for, I found a resource on that somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I should find it and post it on the team page at the very least. And then people have a chance to print that off if they want, sort of an extra, if you've got this version, use this kind of thing.
It was one of those things when I first got it. One of my really rookie mistakes was I'm like, I guess it's this hard to push it through. And like I warped the embossing folder.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I mean, I can still use it, but I can't like to store it. It's like,
yeah. You know what I just found out, like literally last week, someone posted this in our Silvers group. The Tasteful Texture embossing folder, I'm trying to think where it is supposed to be way more textured than mine does. And all this time I've been thinking it's supposed to be light, and I'd see other people's cards and they'd have all this beautiful thick embossing on it. And I think mine is never lined up properly to give the proper impression. And I keep saying, next order, I'm going to buy a new one. Next order, I'm going to buy a replacement one. And I mean, I've had it for a year and a half. So, you know, it works, but it's just not as thick as the other ones. And then someone posted a picture and said, I don't know why this suddenly happened. And I'm like, what do you mean suddenly happened? Mine's always been that way. If you don't know, right, you just kind of assume that's what yours is like. So this card was, I think, a Mystery Card Monday creation. Showing off using some embossing or some paper rather. And it just seemed like a perfect card to do here too. So you got a white to go on the inside. I think that all our cards have been that way tonight. Hey, buddy. Did you cook?
I'm gonna do it now. Okay.
Yeah, thanks. So nice having grown kids around because we take turns cooking. Sometimes it's my turn, sometimes it's not.
Nice.
Yes, I'm sure you do all the cooking, Lynn, right? Or is Peter able to help?
He does.
That's so
He
fun.
he had to do all the cooking. He started when I remember I had my cancer. I had chemo and radiation for 4 years.
Yes.
So he did, and he's
lot.
quite good. He is still not able to walk properly. So
Oh,
our little trip this week was coming to your place to pick up my
just getting out and about.
yes.
So we have a smaller piece than a full layer, but we can still do the same thing. If you push it all the way into your punch along the longer side, so the longer side goes in the top of the punch, and push it as far as it'll go, that'll get it pretty much centered. And we'll do the same thing by punching out those. And when you've got a light colored card base, I don't recommend doing this, but with a dark colored card base, you're not even going to notice it if your paper is that there's something cut out of the back. Okay, so this paper is the Simply Elegant, and Kim's in.
I had already cut 2 sets with the first one.
Oh, did you? Oh, there you go. Yep.
So I'm going to cut 2 sets again. I just have it there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This one's smaller. You might not get 2 out of it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
You get 1.5.
One and a
That's
bit?
fine.
Okay. Yeah, just make sure you leave yourself the border, and if
Yeah,
not, then your
yeah.
border's thinner.
Well, I turned it on the side for the second set and it's working perfectly.
Well, that's smart. So then this card opens this way, so it's a landscape opening. But before we put this down, we're going to put the Simply Elegant trim around it. This comes in a 2-pack, gold and silver. It's not, what's the word? It's not stretchy. So that's good for, I think, tying, because it's going to go where you want it to. I'm actually going to grab my glue dots, if I can find them. You should see the mess of things that's to my right. A couple of days worth of crafting, couple of days of prepping, and there's just piles of stuff. In here somewhere are my glue dots. There they are. So I wanted to get a glue dot so that when I put the knot down where I want it to be, then I'm going to have it right in the spot. And it'll hold it there while I'm tying the bow. The problem with that is you're committed once you put that glue dot, right? So that's okay.
We actually tying a bow.
Yeah. I noticed my other ones, the ends are flipping up rather than down, but so you can just do a knot if you like. But
No, I'm fine with bows.
So I put my little glue dot there first, and then I wrap the twine around and push the knot part down there. And then I'm a little more free to do the bow part, not worrying about the pieces coming undone and not being tight enough around.
That's a great trick.
Pardon me?
That's a great trick. I've been
Yes.
cursing over here trying to tie it.
This one turned out really well. The first one, had come undone, and as I was pulling this stuff out, I thought, oh, I got to redo that bow.
Doesn't tie very easily. Like it comes undone.
Yeah, you need to kind of pull one side. You have to pull it tight with both bow ends, and then gently pull one side, then the other side. You
I
can
usually
also,
tie a knot.
or you can tie a full knot. I just did like a one over. Whoops.
Yeah, I did a full knot
Yeah, that'll help.
because I like to move my bow to where I want it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna put some. Dimensionals.
I was so upset when I heard the news yesterday about the 20-year-old guy who hit the horse and buggy.
Oh, is that
I
what
didn't hear that.
Yes, and the 79-year-old man in the buggy died, and his wife was airlifted to Hamilton.
Oh, no.
The horse escaped. The horse kept galloping away.
Yeah. What did he hit him with a car?
Yes, right behind them. So
Gee.
they ejected because they don't wear seatbelts.
Oh dear. That's terrible. Okay. I'm keeping that little one, and I'm going to put it on my greeting. But let's get some dimensionals.
So did you just layer it onto the gray with no dimensionals? No.
I put dimensionals on
Oh,
it.
you did. I couldn't see
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah, just to pop it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Seeing the back of this paper,
Mhm.
the punch would be neat if you had a cool Christmassy pattern and like reversed and did like a bunch of punch out stars.
Yeah,
And did
yeah.
it that way. Like that.
It is.
I mean, this paper doesn't really suit it, but to do a Christmassy pattern or
But you could with another pattern for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
that'd be neat.
Now, what paper is this?
It's called Simply Elegant, and it's in the annual catalog. It's one of the $20 ones.
I bought every paper except the
You think you have it.
lions and tigers.
Oh, did you?
I don't like them.
Well, Simply Elegant has quite a few beautiful patterns. I think this is one I like the most.
Yeah.
One side,
Okay, I didn't
one side-
notice that.
yeah, one side's vanilla and blacks and grays, and then the other is all the foil ones.
Okay.
This one here has gold, silver, and copper.
I don't think it's available yet. Again, it was.
Oh, again? Hmm.
Yeah, it was available. Or you could, on back order.
Yes.
But the next day I went in, it was back unavailable.
Well, it's pretty good for, before I get too carried away, it's pretty good for Christmas, right? It's
Yes.
spoiling
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, before I get too carried away putting my stars down, I think I'll do the same thing and get my greeting in there, which I may trim up a little bit. So this piece is 3/4 of an inch by 2.5, but just what's a little bit longer for the twinkle. And then if you want to trim it up, you can. And I use basic gray. Yep, I can trim it off. So I'm going to move it a little to the left and trim off some of the white. I was just glad to see the Whimsy paper come back in stock,
Yes.
because it's, very, very much for Christmas.
Well, a lot of that Halloween stuff is not really coming back in time.
No. It's
Fortunately.
funny, I had on back order for a while the black glitter paper, and it arrived yesterday. So I used it in my mystery card Monday, but
Yes.
I will be finding a way to use it because they always retire it after like a Halloween fall catalog. And then you're like, oh, I wish we still had that because we could use it for other stuff. So I'm going to try to use it for other stuff before it disappears.
It looks really good to make the penguins out of that.
Yes, yes. And see the penguin stamp set, that's true. It's in the mini, so it's not guaranteed to carry over either. We'll see what they end up doing. Put this, I want to put a little one there. This guy here, and this guy over here. And then the teeny tiny one, I'm going to put a little dab of glue, liquid glue. I'm going to pop it over the twinkle. Just probably overkill, but that's okay.
Christmas.
It's Christmas. There is no overkill.
Yeah.
Wee dot.
So Diane, you're thinking of starting in-person classes in the new year? That's your hope?
That's my hope, yes. For those who are brave. I have to have the conversation with my family first because we have this, nobody's allowed in the house.
Well, most of my things aren't starting up until March. Until the
March?
kids, they said the kids won't be fully vaccinated until then.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't think about that. My contractor is not double vaxxed, but or that's what he told me. So but he comes in and he wears a mask when he's working and he's in the bathroom. So like if he's not wearing a mask, he has the door closed. So we're okay with that.
Did you ask him or he told you or?
I asked him when he came to the house first to meet him and stuff before we really got started. And he said, no, I'm not double vaxxed. And I said, then I guess you better be wearing a mask. He's very accommodating, though. He's a friend of a former colleague of mine. So came highly recommended. All right, here are our 4 cards.
Very nice.
And it's really unusual for me to have the cards in landscape more than portrait. I don't usually do that. Try to have a mix of both, but so there they are if anybody wanted to take a picture, if that helps. And I can stop share. You can go back and do that. Oh, sorry, Vicki, did you want to do that? Sorry.
That's okay. We got them on the PDF folder.
On the PDF, that's true.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. But it's nice to come back and see everybody's faces. Good. Yeah, I like
That was good.
Good. So next month, I haven't designed the cards till this weekend, but we are going to use I'm going to get the right name. They're Christmas ornament dies. So it's just the dies, not the bundle, to keep the price down, because I don't think you really need the bundle. I think the dies will be sufficient. And it's called the White Baubles. No, Delicate Baubles dies.
In the
Okay, just one.
In the mini on page 40. Just do this. There we go. So it's these dies down here.
I may have it. I'll let you know.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So they kind of fall under just the dies. They kind of fall under our price range of $48. So getting us too high up there. And for the class, if you want to add on the bundle or the stamp set too, that's fine. I'm just going to go with some general greetings you can use from whatever you've got. Everybody has at least one Christmas stamp set.
I have a tick on mine, so I don't know if I have it. You know how you tick these things off?
Yes. Even this one may be perfect for your greetings. So
the stamp set's not really that exciting, is it?
I don't feel like it's necessary personally. And so it's really the intricate parts of the dies that I think are going to be the most fun to play with. And yeah, the stamp set, I mean, it is, if that's the only one you want to get from the, you know what I mean, for your choice for tags and whatever. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun, and we're going to use some foil, and if I can still get my hands on more velvet, we'll use some velvet as well. Because we did, I don't know if that lovely red velvet paper goes on back order again, so hopefully not. We are going to use it next week for the team meeting with the poinsettias, and I was thrilled with how the velvet paper with the it's like a 2-tier die cut, how much it changes the velvet. It's because of the way it impresses in it. It's almost embossed, and it turned out really nice. So yeah, I'd like to try that with those two and see how they work out, but I've got some foil, red and green foil to work with.
So that, you think that red velvet's on back order?
I'm worried it might go on back order, so I'm going to take a look before the end of the week. I've got my final order to place for the month, and I may just get a couple packages so that I've got it just in case. It's kind of that time of year when things can kind of shift that way, and you never quite know, you know, then it ends up on the clearance rack a year later. Who knows?
Yes.
So you gotta check it out, and if you want it, get it. That's what it kind of comes down to. But I'd like to have it for the class if I can, and I'll use it for something. It's really nice with the poinsettias for sure, which I finally cracked open this past, 2 weeks ago. I opened that from I bought it last year and never used it. So
I did. I used it
Oh,
last year. I loved it.
Me too. I used it a lot. Yeah.
oh, that's good.
I just bought it. So
Yeah.
I have some of the paper left from last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
did.
bought
I
the-
bought some of the paper too.
Yeah, but I bought the bundle just recently. Those are going to be, I think, my Christmas cards. I don't know.
They are so beautiful.
Well,
well,
there's
wait,
white velvet too.
And that Christmas tree, Diane, you remember the dimensional ones with the cuts?
yes.
Was one of my favorite.
Yeah.
That's from last year, I think. I had that
Yeah.
last year. Yeah.
It was last year. Last year, there were so many pretty things.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, it makes me wonder how they always come up with something that makes us go ooh and ah, but they do. There's always something good coming. So
When don't you get to see the new catalog soon? You're on stage?
we
Is that on stage?
we get to see it at on stage. So, and we get to order a select bit from it. So Lynn and Stacy, Wendy. Who else was there? Oh, Barb and myself. We opened our swag bags for on stage together on Sunday night, and the tote is nice, and the stamp set is lovely, and stuff. So I'll share it. I think we can do that, and then
Sure.
on Wednesday.
Nobody
And-
can order it anymore, so you may as well show it.
And then we get to, we do get to order from the mini. We'll get, usually when you're on stage, you physically get a copy of it, but it'll be posting, and we'll be seeing like demonstrations with it and stuff, and we'll be able to post from the premiere, and that'll be cool. So I've been saving my credits to be able to do that.
When is on stage?